think I just threw in the clue of the others.
Shabbat Shalom. We gather together to celebrate this Sabbath together as a community and as a family, both here in our sanctuary and virtually all those who are watching with us. We usher in on a day of warmth, just a little more light and a little more warmth to bring in this special Sabbath. And so I think members of the choir are going to help with the kindling of the lights of Shabbat. Remember. Of Shabbat, that the angels of the Sabbath join us, and so we welcome them with the words of Shalom Aleichem, welcome unto you. Each and every shepherd has his own tune. Know that each and every blade of grass has its own song. And from the song of the grasses, the tune of the shepherd is made. How beautiful and pleasant it is to hear this song. It is very good to pray among them and to serve God in joy. And from the song of the grasses, the heart is filled and yearns. And from the song of the grasses, the tune of the heart is made. As we rise together for our call to worship the Barchu on page 3. Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvarot ma'ariv arabim. Blessed are you, Adonai, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being. Baruch atah Adonai hama'avir arabim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening.
Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Moreyom v'layla, goleh mipnei choshech, goleh mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Moreyom v'layla, goleh mipnei choshech, goleh mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night.
And we continue with the Shema, the watchword of our faith. Continuing with the first paragraph of the Shema as it appears in Deuteronomy. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha Hayom alevavecha, vishinantam levanecha, vidibarta habam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha b'derech, uvshoflecha uvkumecha, uvshartam lehot al yadecha, v'hayula totafot beinenecha. Uchtavtam amazuzo beitecha ubisharecha leman tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'yod lachem le'Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. If we have learned one thing from our past, it is that to live through dramatic events is not enough. One has to share them and transform them into acts of conscience. And so we return to and remember the song of freedom that the Israelites experienced after crossing through the Red Sea from slavery to freedom, to remind us that that indeed is an endeavor we all share. Yud Hanukkah. Abraham Joshua Heschel, we read responsively on page 5, a thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song in the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. We read together, where are the words that could compete with such a night? 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things of space. On the Sabbath, we try to become attuned to the holiness in time. 6 days a week, we wrestle with the world wringing profit from the earth. On Shabbat, we especially care for the seed of eternity planted in the soul. The world has our hands, but the soul belongs to someone else. 6 days a week, we seek to dominate the world. On the seventh day, we try to dominate yourself.
God has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Ooh. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Thought has blown the marketplace away. There's a song on the wind, joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night.
We rise for the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agitehilateh. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Litnei V'neihem, Laman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibur Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol Atarav LaHoshia, Mechalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rahum, Somech Noflim B'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayehem Emunato, Lishenei Ahafar, Michamo Ba'al Kiburot, Umido Mehela, Melech Meimihit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukadoshim b'chol yom yehalelu kasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. And we are seated. We believe in tomorrow. We believe that we have the power to make tomorrow different from today. We believe that poverty need not be permanent and that people need not learn war forever. We believe in people despite all that we know about them. We believe that there can still be a time of peace and a time of justice, a time of fellowship and a time of tranquility for all who live on earth. We believe that we can have a share in bringing that day closer by the way in which we live in the week to come. Even though the world may smile at our dreams, it does not matter. We still believe. And we believe that we can yet bring us closer to a world of peace. And so we continue with Shalom Ra, our prayer for peace. in our community, in our temple family, and in our world. Before we offer our Mishaberach prayer on page 8, we open up the opportunity for individuals to mention names of those for whom they wish for healing and wholeness and shalom. Praise for Morton Robbins and all of our members who are needing just In his book, Musicophilia, the neurologist and writer Oliver Sacks told the poignant story of Clive Waring, an eminent English musician and musicologist who in his mid-40s was tragically struck with a brain infection and encephalitis that indeed affected all parts of his brain that was concerned with memory. He was left with a memory span of only seconds, the most devastating case of amnesia ever recorded. He was unable to remember anything for more than a few seconds. As his wife Deborah put it in her memoirs, it was as if every waking moment was the first waking moment. Unable to thread experiences together, he was caught in this endless present that had no connection to anything that had gone before. At one point, he thought he would keep a journal, and at 2:10, he would write, "I am finally awake." And at 2:14, he would write, "I just woke up," and on and on. Another day, he had a chocolate in his hand, and he would cover it with the other hand. And each time, he would say, "Look, there's a chocolate." And Deborah would remark, "That's the same chocolate." And he would say, "No, it wasn't here before." There were only two things which broke through his isolation. One was his love for his wife. The only times of feeling alive were when Deborah visited him. But the moment she left, he was desperate once again. And by the time she had driven home 10 or 15 minutes later, she would find repeated messages from him on her answering machine. "Please come and see me, darling. It's been ages since I've seen you. Please fly here at the speed of light." The other thing that was intact for him was music. He could still sing and play the organ and conduct a choir with all of his old skill and verve. If he looked at piano music, he would say, "I've never seen that before." But then he would sit down and, for instance, playing Beethoven's Ninth, he would play and say, "I remember this one," inserting improvisations, a dramatic scale at the end. He would improvise, joke, play with any piece of music despite his dramatic amnesia. Both music and the love of his wife were embedded in what's called his emotional memory, something that is deeper and amazingly unaffected by cognitive memory damage. Oliver Sacks asked, what is it about music and its ability to override amnesia? He suggests that when we remember a melody, we recall, yes, one note at a time, yet each note relates to the whole. He quotes the philosopher of music, Victor Zuckerhandel, who wrote, "Hearing a melody is hearing, having heard, being about to hear, all at once. Every melody declares to us what the past can be there without being remembered, and the future without being foreknown. For instance, even poorly, I can do this. Da 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 da. And you all know what's going to follow that. You will see yourself perhaps in the concert hall where you first heard this entire piece of music. You will know the entire piece just by those few notes. Music is a form of sensed continuity that can sometimes break through the most overpowering disconnections in our experience of time. I think this is particularly true of Jewish experience that we have enjoyed over the decades. Now, I was told that Diane didn't even want me to mention this tonight. But indeed, it isn't the last time that she will perform as our accompanist for our choir regularly, because she's going to come back and she's going to help us out, and she's going to be sitting at that piano many times. And yet this is the last time as a formal accompanist that she will indeed be in that spot. And I think of the amazing memories that she has kind of programmed and instilled within every person who has sat in this service, in this congregation for the past 2 decades. She's understated. She always wants to hide behind the choir there. In fact, I always joke that that window behind her says, Those who sit in the dark will sometimes see a great light. Well, I think the real truth of that is those who sit in the dark, Diane in the corner, will be a great light. Because, in fact, Diane has given all of us, and many of us, and so many who are not here, a lifetime of memory, that deep embedded melody that is the trope of Jewish worship. Through her quiet presence, we're going to remember the solemn tones of Kol Nidre and the joyous celebration of the Shehachianu prayer. The history of Jewish spirit, we are told, is written in our melodies, and those are the tones that Diane has given us for so many years. Even those with the most impaired memories will keep what they call that emotional memory. And therefore, for 2 decades, Temple Beth Or people who may not remember the faces of the congregants, who may not remember the color of the sanctuary, they have the gift of emotional memory of the music which Diane has gifted us in our minds and souls. In perfect Temple Beth Or fashion, the piece that we wanted to give you isn't here yet. Because would she expect it to be any other than that? On its way is a beautiful art piece which the choir and the members of the congregation has commissioned for her, which says, "Sing a new song unto God," with a beautiful piano key upon it. And it says, "Presented to our beloved accompanist, Diane Bromberg, with deep appreciation for your 20 or 21 years of dedicated service from Temple Beth Or." And so, again, she didn't want a big deal, so she's not getting it. She's just getting the promise of a beautiful art piece. And the deal is she's got to come back for the high holidays to get it. And so we offer her this beautiful, almost gift. This is what it really is.
Just in case. You ready? Just in case. Those are her backup tissues. All right, so I also promised I wouldn't make a big deal of anything. So she'll kick my butt in the parking lot later, I'm sure. Whether you've known Diane for 20 years, for 2 years, for 2 months, she gets you. She really does. She has become my friend, my music partner. How long have you been training me to be a choir director? Has it been 8 years? 7 years? How long has it been? Has it been 8 years? See, Marilyn knows. She's had to deal with it. So in those 8 years, she really has. She's become one of my best friends, and I've learned so much from her. And that's it. I made it short and sweet. But I do want to show you something in tradition of Temple Beth Or. We have a paver stone that is en route for you. And this was our, I like that, thank you. Here, please, please, yes, I'm here every Friday, really. Tip your waitress. That says, Diane Bromberg, for 20 years of service, thanks for the melodies. You like that?
Oh,
okay.
nice.
With love from the TBO Choir, June 2022. So that's kind of what it'll look like. It probably won't be bright pink stone, though. There's an assortment of other goodies in here that we all put together for you that we don't expect you to open on the piano. You can do it with the O-Nav, and we'll sob. And just in case you need, I think there's another back of a tissue in here. Okay. I'm sure the choir members, I told them to keep it down low. I'm sure you're going to go, all over you. All right, that's all I had to say.
And what we had hinted at in the light is this is merely Lahira. Oh, we'll see you later, because Diane is not leaving our congregation or our temple family at all. Simply her position regularly behind the piano. And every so often, if we need a little help, we know she'll be the one who is back there, sitting in the darkness yet again. We will all have a chance to congratulate her and wish her well. Following our service, the choir has put together a little Oneg Shabbat to celebrate this day. And so first we turn to our Aleinu prayer on page 9 of our service, which is the vision of a perfect and perfected time. And we rise together. remember these are beloved, not to be sad, but to remember. Our sorrow that accompanies their death does not diminish the joyful gift that was their lives. We remember their kindness and their nobility and their goodness. They taught us to live and love, inspiring us through the grace of their best selves. They have showered us with love and light, and as we remember them in our Kaddish prayer, we bring their light back to raise up heavy hearts. These we remember. We mark the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the passing of Joseph Briskin, Eugene Kleinman, Mary Scott, Nancy Self, Ann Cutler, Hank Adler, Sam Fiddler, Leah Grossgreen, Oscar Green, Rabbi Uriel D.H. Smith, Lillian Orlinsky, Herman Sherline, Louis Barnett, Mary Lemon, Irving Sanderson, Sandra Frischlow, Edgar Slotkin, and Francis Levine. We mark as well with sadness the recent passing of Jenny Walders. Are there any other names that we mention for Kaddish on this Shabbat? So we gather them together with our own beloved and give thanks for their lives with our Kaddish prayer on page 10. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlik malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael v'agala u'vizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbo mevarach le'olam u'olmei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yithoar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha v'richu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran v'amah v'imru amen. Yehei shalom araba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, let peace descend on us, on all Israel, and on all the world, as we say, amen. And we are seated. Before our closing song, we have a Kiddush and Motzi. I wonder, Scott, can I drag you all over here to lift up the trumpet? We'll all sing Kiddush and Motzi. Anyone on the end that's called up? Yeah, I'm sitting in the middle next time. So we begin with the Kiddush. So Scott lifts up the wine cup, he gets the wine, and we all have to do the work. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. And the bread. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Thank you. Taste test okay? We can all eat it. I am told that we are supposed to have not just an Adon Olam to close, but a rip-roaring Adon Olam.
A request.
At her request. A rip-roaring. So if you don't rip and you don't roar,
All right. That means you must express. And sing it with us. You ready? You ready? Yeah, because you'll be louder, and then they'll compete with you, and they'll be louder, and then we'll be rip-roaring. That's the goal. Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Liet Nasa, V'chesocho. Save the really high one till the end, Marilyn, but I like that one. As I melach Shemona Kra Adon Olam, Ve'achad saying, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Hashem Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nivra,
Le'ed Nasa,
Le'et Nasa,
V'chesoko. Not yet. Hashem Malach, Shemon Nikra, Adon Olam, Vehu Echad, Vehem Sheni, Laham Shelo, Lahapara, Adon Olam, Veli Reishi, Veli Taklit, Velo Elos, Velo Mizrah, Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Hashem Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nivra,
Le'ed Nasa,
Le'et Nasa,
V'chesoko. We got one more, save it. Asad Malach Shemon Nikra, Adon Olam, Biado, Biado, Achid Ruchi, V'yektishan V'yahida, Adon Olam, V'him Ruchi, V'yati, Adonai live Elohina, Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem Kol,
B'terem Kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nivra,
Le'ed Nasa,
Le'et Nasa,
V'chesoko. Azai Malach Shemon Nikra, Adon Olam. Shabbat Shalom, y'all.
Shabbat Shalom.
Mwah.
Please join us for a special Oneg Shabbat in our hallway out these doors.
Woohoo.